Dave, thanks ever so much. You can stay if you want to, and we can have a little chat for a few minutes if you want. You're quite welcome to. But if you want to get on, you've been on for 2 hours now, haven't you?
I've been doing my dinner while I've been on the show, so I'm just going to go and have my dinner. Nice to see you all. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for hosting, Jace. And I'll see you all soon.
Bye, Dave.
Cheers, mate.
I like your picture, Jason.
Oh, yeah. You mean that train picture? I don't think the rest can see it, so I'm going to show it for a second. Hang on. I thought I'll get a little bit festive, but as festive as I get.
So let's start with a good evening, everybody, and welcome to the show.
There's my little train going round and round.
Yeah. Is that you on the ice ring?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah. You wouldn't want to see me in an ice ring. God.
I was going to say Sean was in with us there, but he's gone off. Dave's just finished his 2-hour stint, and he's cooking his dinner, so he's gone off for a bit of dinner. And at the moment, it's just myself and Sue, and Jay is in the background as usual.
I'm off to go and get my dinner out the oven.
Oh, yeah? Oh, that's nice.
Mine's in the microwave.
I'll leave you two to it.
Thank you very much, Jason.
Okay.
So I've had a bit of an hectic time, young Sue. And the light's gone in here as well, so I've had to put an emergency light in. It's not brilliant, but
hey, we can see you all right.
Oh, that's good. You don't really want to see an ugly old bush like mine anyway.
I don't want to see all dents in your head now.
Do you know what? My missus calls me dinkhead because over the years, the amounts of times that I've dinked my head is unbelievable. When I used to work for the council, and I remember once I was spraying all around the perimeter of the school field, and because it used to be so much easier than strimming the field or going around with a rotary motor, like, you know, I'm not a rotary motor, your little rotary motor. And I remember walking around this field, and you're looking where you're going with the spray, and you're looking what you're doing, and you've got your eyes on the spray, and every now and then you're looking up to see where you're going and whatever. And I went under these trees, and I didn't realise, right? And I went back straight into a branch. And the weight of the water on the back, or the chemical on the back with the knapsack, thumped me on the arse. Because the weight of it knocked me back. And I landed up on my arsehole. So I'm looking around. I thought, there's many fucker looking at me. I was expecting to see somebody rolling around the ground, kicking their legs in the air and thinking, look at that bastard. Well, you would do, yeah.
I would. I'd be on the floor with you. I'd be rolling around.
I'm glad Jason's gone for his tea, so he missed that. Because he would have been laughing his socks off. And if he'd have heard that, he would have added to his day after me telling him I've fallen down the bleeding ladder out and laughed.
No.
So yeah. And then with me doing a bit of tree work and tree surgery and Christ knows what, the amount of dinks I've got in my head and things you do when you ask the normal average guy how many times you think your head out in a lifetime, and I remember in Beechholme, that was we had the backyards outside the back of the house is a bit of grass and a bit of asphalt, and in Laburnum we had a bit of a dip in the grass. I don't know whether it would be through a bonfire or something like that. Anyway, we used to go and collect old rubbish, and there used to be old bicycle wheels and bicycle frames and stuff like that. The kids try to make up bikes with what was being dumped or left around the place.
Didn't you ever go to the trade yards?
Yeah, well, we used to get whatever we could. Oh, half inch it or whatever. You know, if you see something like that, you just nicked it, didn't you? So anyway. I was making this bloody bomb-proof shelter in Laburnum. So things we used to do, man. And so I put all these bicycle frames and all these wheels and stuff like that. And I said, look, I'm in my bomb shelter. So I thought I was in my trench, right, in the war or whatever. So here's me as a kid. I was in, because you have to, you know yourself, you had to find your own entertainment. You had to amuse yourself the best you can, and your outside life of the house was far better than being in the house. And you had to amuse yourself or try and do whatever you could just to try and sort of please yourself. And so I've made this bomb-proof shelter. So I'm saying to one of the kids, throw rocks at my shelter. I've got a bomb-proof shelter. And I thought this geezer was throwing his lock, cut of dinked and everything. I said, look, it works. And I stuck my fucking head up, didn't I? Right? And he's thrown this bloody big brick and dinked straight in the head. And the blood that was pouring out of my bloody head, it split my head open. And I quickly went in because I had to go down to the sick bay to have it stitched up. So I come round the corner, and of course, you know what it was like in them days. We couldn't say nothing about being beaten, hit, tortured, or anything. We was told to shut our mouths and all that. So I was told, you know, you got punished for anything you did. And if you turned around and said, "Oh, we made a bomb-proof shelter," and the kids were throwing bricks at me, he would have got punished anyway. The kid would have got really, I don't know. We don't know what would have happened to him. So I said I was running around the house outside in the play area, and I slipped and hit my head on the corner of the brickwork as I came around the corner and split my head open. I ain't gonna say he's thrown a brick at my head, am I? So I've gone down to the sick bay, I got stitched up and everything. And my brother, when I was going down the avenue, Frank saw me and he seen my head covered in blood, and he was literally dripping off my chin, the blood. I split it right open. Good time, big time. And good job you never saw me. You would have been pissing yourself.
Yeah, I would have done.
I'm going down to sick bay and looking down because I'm going down to sick bay. I got stitched up and everything else, and I'll get this dirty, great big bit of gauze on my head, and I'm not too sure if I had a bit of bandage tied underneath me bloody chin. But the amount of times my missus calls me Dinkhead. That's the motto to this story was. Because the amount of times I've either cut my head, dinked my head, or whatever, and even if she's cut my hair, she's turning me and say, "You've been dinking your head again." And then today, I took a big lump out of it somewhere up here. So I was taking some out of my head, and I thought, and it had to be a corner of a joist in the loft that I had to catch it on. So yeah, that was things that they try us with.
I haven't done anything like that.
No, you're a sensible girl.
No, I did fall through the ceiling once from when we had the great storm.
Yeah.
Well, the tiles had gone off the roof.
Oh my God.
And I was in the top floor flat, so no one would go up in the loft and do it. So I had to go up and move slates to one side. And I hit my head and went straight through the ceiling. Well, my legs were dangling, and there was a little boy in my house, and he was sitting on the toilet. I scared the bloody crap out of him.
God.
Oh.
Did you damage the ceiling?
Yeah.
Yeah? What did you do to the ceiling? Hey?
Big hole in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't feel it.
Shut up.
So, yeah, it was a busy old weekend. Like I said, the time I'd left my home and got to Manchester, you're talking like 4 hours. And then time you're there, you spent the train got delayed through Signal at Doncaster, so I was another half an hour. The train came in half an hour late. They say now, I didn't know that, but they tannoyed over the train that if your train's late by 15 minutes, you can claim compensation.
Yeah.
Never didn't know that.
Yeah,
but, and then I caught the 5:20 train back. Jimmy came to the station and sat with me for a little bit. He's as good as gold, you know. Every time I've gone up north and supported the guys or Jimmy or whatever the case might be, Jimmy's always had my back. He's been a good heart of gold. He's always looked after me at Rampton with Melanie Shaw when we done the Melanie Shaw rally. Always been there, and he wasn't feeling too well. Do you remember when we was at Nottingham?
Yeah.
Did he go wrong? Did he go down the wrong hole?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
So and I think He did a Manchester one, but I don't think I was at that one, was I? Was it the Manchester? No, I think it was the one after. I did one. Angie came and she was there, and Rita and a few other of the Northern crowd were there. And yeah, I broke down in that one like I did in Nottingham a bit. Because sometimes when you talk about it and you relive your past, it comes back to haunt you, doesn't it, a little bit?
Yeah, it does. But fortunately, I can't cry. So
you did cry at Nottingham, no?
Yeah, I did, only because you upset me. But otherwise,
you're such a strong character. You've got such a strong mindset, such a strong character. Yeah, you know, and what you've been through. I mean, you know, I will always say this, and I've said it a few times in public. Do you know, I've never had it as bad as some kids got abuse. You know, like, I never got penetrated or anything like that, and I never had it half as bad as probably what Sandy got it.
No.
You know, there's a lot of similarities to what they did in our children's home to his children's home, Quarries. I don't know where he is tonight. He's not coming, has he?
No, I haven't seen him on there either.
So he's probably fallen asleep, you know. He sometimes does that.
Brian ain't on.
No, Brian's not coming. Did you phone him?
No, he weren't on.
No. So they just left us. So we'll have to chat between ourselves anyway.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing? Anything? What have you been up to?
Well, we drove to St Albans yesterday, didn't we?
Oh, of course you did. Yeah, you went to get your.
Yeah, we left at 6 in the morning.
Oh my God.
Got there, I think 8:45 we got there. And then drove back. We was back by 12. So.
How long did it take you to get there then?
Didn't take, well, about 2.5 hours. 2.75 hours.
You go what, M25 and round that way, and then pick up.
Yeah, straight on the M25.
M25.
Yeah, and then come off. But
come off at Watford, St Albans way.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, we.
You go by Heathrow way that way, don't you?
Oh, I don't know. We just go along. I go looking for.
I'm sure it does Watford Heathrow and comes round down there, and then you come round. You can pass the A3 to go towards Guildford and Peace Cottage, and down towards.
I don't know.
And then you
I'm
come
looking out.
Europe.
Yeah, I look out for the Eddie Stobarts. We try and get the names, and we saw 20 yesterday.
That's different. That's a different way of doing it.
Yeah.
So who was with you?
When we went, JC drove, and we had Harper.
Yeah.
She borrowed Emma's car because it's bigger.
Yeah.
And she's still got Harper's coat stuck in her boot, so it can't open it or shut it.
Oh my God, yeah, because a fellow was going to try and get into the boot to get it out.
Yeah. So we went in, had a cup of tea, and brought Chelsea and Grace back. We was going to go to the beach today, but it was raining.
Yeah, it's been raining here.
Yeah, so we just went to Aldi's. Well, I've got my Amazon stick, but Chelsea takes it out the telly downstairs because she took the telly out of my room, put it in that room.
Yeah.
And but now I've got Harper and JC for the night as well.
Good. You got Harper for the night as well.
And JC.
What's JC there? Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah. So.
Natural bliss.
Yeah. So I'll definitely be falling out of bed tonight because I haven't got my guard because I've given it to Chelsea for Grace.
So who's in your bed then?
JC and Harper. Yeah.
Bloody hell, so you're going to end up on your head in the middle of the night. You fall out of bed when it's just you in it.
I know. God.
But let's talk about a little bit about the weekend. It was quite busy. Piers Corbyn was speaking. As you saw, I had a photograph taken with my. I listened to him, and he goes around the country and does a lot of speaking at events and all that. I said to Jimmy, wouldn't you get a photograph of him? He said, nah, I'm not that interested. And there was quite a lot of police filming. What do they call them? They call themselves police observation unit or something like that. Or do you know, big camera filming, and one guy was filming it all there. It was like one large, one big bloke, one short, fat, stubby guy. You know, it looked like he should be riding on a noddy train. But they weren't too bad, to be truthful. I was spoken to one Asian guy, and he started talking to me, and because he asked me what Beechholme was, and I said I don't normally talk to you a lot, but I had spoke to him, but he was quite kind and that, and he even admit, he said that if you ask me, he said I'd struggle to try and remember my oath.
Yeah.
Oath of office, and you know, and I said to him, well, you know, you talk about human rights in your oath, and the way that the police have been treating people, it's far from that. What you know, what they've actually been doing to people.
Yeah. Well, I heard that when they were doing it in George's Square in Glasgow, they rode the horses at them.
Really?
Yeah.
What, this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, it would have been interesting to have had Sandy on, and he could have told us a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Well, that's a surprise, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
the Scottish have been up till now. The Scottish haven't been any problems. Because when we were there, with Ricky and
they was talking with us, weren't they?
Their agent officers were as good as gold. Well, we don't act like that, they said up here. And so, but this is like, I don't know, it's just that people have got so much distrust and disrespect from, but it's the whole thing. It's the whole agenda now that what we live in, and it's everything. It's just you don't know who to trust anymore. It's
no,
because all the politicians, they're all absolute liars.
Yeah,
but Hancock crying on television, all the media stations towing the same line, and all sort of implicit, you know. And at the end of the day, we've always said we've always said this, me and you, that there's something out there.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's as bad as Spanish flu.
I think there's COVID out there, but like it started in China, right?
Right.
They had no vaccine.
Right.
Right. They got over it. They've never had a reoccurrence of it. So how comes we keep getting it then?
Although what I've seen of news reels, what to believe or not is another thing, because politicians do play this propaganda game now where they show you a bit of video or filming of somewhere in the world, and it could be anywhere. It's like there's been so many stories about this woman that's had this first
injection, and she's been dead 8 years since 2008.
Yes, and the woman that injected her, there was a shot of, and I think his name was William Shakespeare, the other guy.
Oh yeah.
They're two parts of the country, totally different parts of the country. So she must either have a fast car or got a helicopter.
Well, she must have been reincarnated then.
Because she the nurse that
the nurse, yeah.
The nurse that did the actual injection. It was, I'm sure it was the same Asian. It was like a Malaysian girl. It's the only way I could say. She might have been Thai, she might have been, you know, but she was that kind of a Chinese orientation, that type of.
Yeah, but the old girl that had the injection was doing the sign of the Illuminati.
Yeah, I see that, but you've had people saying, well, I've always, you know, I've done things with my hands, and like sometimes you do play games with your hands and you make gestures. But it just seemed that if you see there's a picture, Nicola Sturgeon's doing it in a picture, that woman's doing it, and some other people are doing it. And I'm not too sure if it's Biden or somebody else. But a high-profile politician's doing it as well.
Yeah.
But we've always said that from day one. I mean, and I always maintain this, that the Westminster paedophile ring did exist. you know, and we don't really want to talk about satanic ritual abuse, but
No.
it's a very, very dark place to actually go. So I don't really want to go there because I'm not, you know, it's horrible what happened to people, and people went through hell.
Yeah. A lot worse than what we did.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that, and my heart goes out to them. But I don't think it's something that what we've always tried to do is fight for the kids.
Yeah.
To try and all children, and you know, not just us.
Yeah. I mean, we fight for forced adoptions.
Yeah.
All things like that, you know, but SRA was just becoming everything. Nothing else seemed to matter.
Yeah.
With SRA, that's why we've had to come off. We were so engrossed with the SRA that you know, our groups and what we were out for were going out the window.
I don't want to really see if like Angie and a few others turn around and say, look, why do people have infighting? Why is the squabbling going on? Blah, blah, blah. If people know what people had done to John, and John is a bloody good friend of ours, and they can say what they like to me, but there's so many people out there that are persuaded or of the ilk that he's a wrong one.
Yeah.
Why? Is it because he was ex-Babylon, ex-policeman? You know, once a copper, always a copper. All them terms come to mind. And people, if somebody says anything, I mean, you could turn around and say, I sexually assaulted you. It's your word against mine. And then it's me to try and prove my innocence.
Yeah.
And if somebody actually, you know, we're not saying people are lying. It's a very, very difficult road to go down. You know, but you can't turn around. I mean, John did a lot of good for people.
Yeah.
And he gave them a platform. He wasn't there solely to put money in their pockets, solely to help them out or try and make money out of it. You know as well as I do. John actually borrowed some of his kids' clothes.
Yeah, because he had nothing. He didn't even have a pair of shoes.
You know, he was so badly trapped when he left the police force because he didn't like what he was seeing. And he called some of his bosses out, and they told him that he could stand to lose everything.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't shut up. He didn't want to shut up.
And they made his life hell.
They did make his life. But at the end of the day, what John's always maintained is like, he's worked alongside other coppers that have given their life for saving other people's lives.
Yeah.
You know? In his role and in his duties, he was kind of like front line, almost like our soldiers when they go out to war. You know, they go to work every day. They could be shot, stabbed, anything, run over, all sorts of things. I mean, my brother-in-law was a police outrider, Dave. God bless him. He's passed away now. And Dave used to train all the coppers in Lincolnshire, outriders. And he used to take them and jolly sometimes. He used to go to London for the day and back, just to, and they had communications. And sometimes they could hear communications through different counties that they was going through. And I suppose if they had to, they would offer to probably, if there was a car chase or something like that, they would probably get involved. But their sole day was to go out there, and I went on the back of a bike with him. Well, I shit myself when I went on the back of the bike with him. He took me to Brands Hatch once to watch the racing, the bike racing, and I was cacking myself. It's when somebody's doing about a ton on the bike, and very, really confident, and you're sitting there. You only got. He was a big set guy anyway, so he kind of shielded me. But if you just sort of looked. He's trying to look around him or that. It's very, very difficult when you're going on the back of a bike to see too much of it when you're whizzing down a motorway. And so if, for hypothetically, if the likes of any royalty came through the county, the Queen, any members of Parliament, high profile people, celebrities or whatever the case might be, he might have to do escort duty. So he was always there. It's like if there was, we used to have a flower parade in Spalding, and they used to have floats, and a lot of the big factories that, because it is a flower county, they do grow a lot of daffodils.
Yeah.
Mainly daffodils and wheat and potatoes. Very good for potatoes. And parts of Lincolnshire have got very black soil, and that's where you get your black lard celery from. And it's supposed to be very, very good, the soil in something like a Bourne way. And yeah, he used to do escort duty all over the place, and so he knew what he was doing. He had a big 1000cc Kawasaki motorbike, and he loved his bikes and everything else.
Yeah, but what I was going to say to you, put it up there. Yolandi has been warned by the police.
Really?
Yeah. To keep her mouth quiet and stop trolling.
Because the Blair brothers are always talking about Yolandi. Because she goes by so many different names. She goes Yolandi Howard, Kenwood.
Yeah.
And then she swaps her first name with her second name.
Yeah,
she does all types of things.
She's doolally tat, isn't she?
I think, and I might be wrong, Sue, when I say this, but is it 12 times she's been sectioned?
Well, that's what I've heard, but I don't know if it's that many times. I really don't know. But
if someone's been sectioned 12 times, there's a problem, isn't there? I'm gonna, dare I try and get into the chat room, because last time I did it, I messed up. And I've got a new phone, so my phone isn't all rigged up yet. Will you be all right if I try and go into the chat room to see if there's anybody that's trying to join us and speak, or if anybody wants to come in?
Yeah, I'm just having a look to see what I can do.
Well, you've got to open a new window, but the trouble is, when I tend to do it, I go into a Google or a new page, and then I open Wake Up UK again, and then I go and try and get chat room. But you can get the video. If your video plays, then you'll get a repeat in the show what I'm doing now, so you'll hear my voice a couple of seconds delay. And it keeps
all you got to do is pause that video or turn off the sound.
Yeah, so I might just give it a try and then see what happens and see if I can do it.
Okie doke.
Because, as I say, Sandy's not here.
The trick really, Alan, is to get in the chat room before you start your show, so it's all prepared and ready.
Yeah, I was running a little bit late as well, Jace, because I've been messing about up in the loft and having a wash.
Yeah, you soapy git.
Those are the days, weren't they? Bucket washes. Or bowl washes, or... Do you know, when I was a kid, we used to have an iron sink, an iron bath, tin bath.
Yeah, so great.
And we used to have an open fire, coal fire. And the coalman used to come pour the street down a manhole in the street, in the pavement, straight into the cellar of our house. And the rats used to use the underground tunnels all under the streets in London. That's like a super highway. And we used to have these king rats, and you could hear them at night because our toilet was downstairs in the basement in Stowe Road. Don't remember too much about Mardale Street, and none of us, because me and Margie and Frank all shared one room, and 4 of us were in one bed. I think Anne says that they were in one bed and we were in a bunk bed, but I never remember a bunk bed. I remember a double bed, and we've always been in a double bed. It used to be cold, and we used to warm each other when it was cold. And then sometimes you'd sneak into the front room just to get warm by the fire. And throw another couple, but my dad used to go mad when he used to do things like that. If he found out, he'd give you a leather belt and beat you for doing it.
See, my nan and granddad had a rag and bone shop, and they used to, like the pubs have the barrel things.
Yeah.
Put the barrels down. They had that out the front, and the coal used to go down into the back cellar.
Yeah.
Where the wooden coal was. The front cellar was for doing the boiling of the washing, making the pickles and everything Christmas. And then, but you had to go outside to the toilet, you know, and many a time there was rats on the stairs.
Yeah, I remember the rats used to climb up the stairs at night from the basement. And we used to have a like a box room downstairs. And it was really, really dark, and the rats squealing at night used to be really, really frightening.
Yeah, see, we never used the outside toilet because at night we had Poes under our bed. I don't know if you had them.
Yeah, pants. Yeah.
Yeah, porcelain Poes. But I suppose I was lucky 'cause we used to come in from the shop, go up 2 steps and go into the scullery. And that's where we lived. You know, the fire was there, the cooker, everything. And you go upstairs and there was a room that was always kept locked, and my nan and granddad's bedroom next to it. And they used to go out to the pub on a Saturday night, and I was on my own. And I found the key behind the gas meter to go into this room. It was a front room, and it had the piano and everything in there. It had chocolates and drink and a radiogram and everything, you know. And I used to put the radiogram on and sit on the window ledge because they had big wide window ledges. And a copper called me one day and said, "Get back in that window before I tell your nan and granddad." And this is terrible. I was terrible. I remember one night I wanted to go up poo, but I was too scared to go down to the toilet. So I done it in the potty, and I thought I'd throw it out the window. And I did. And then I heard, "You dirty little mare, what are you doing?" It was my aunt. She'd come back to check on me. She was going to the toilet. So I pulled the window down, got in bed, and I could hear her coming up the stairs, so I pretended I was asleep. And then she's cursing, she's lifted the window. "You dirty bastard," she was saying. She was talking to the gypsies next door. She thought it was them that threw it out on her.
Yeah.
But I did tell her years later it was me, you know, but I had my own bedroom there, so we had 3 bedrooms. So we was lucky.
Yeah, but you didn't have such a bad time there, did you?
Not with my mum, not with my nan and granddad. No, nor at home with my mum and dad. You know, we used to have a proper bath behind the kitchen door, and it had balls over it in Wandsworth. But
There was always seemed to be a funny place, Wandsworth, to me. I don't know what it was, but Wandsworth seemed to seem a funny borough. Just the place seemed to be weird, strange. It had some rough estates on it.
Yeah, I lived on the East Steel estate.
Yeah, that was. There is parts of Wandsworth that were quite rough. Well, I'm not sure where the Arndale Centre is. There was a shopping centre built in.
Yeah, down the bottom.
And then there were 2 tower blocks, and that was quite rough. Some of
that was opposite, near enough opposite Wandsworth Town Hall, but
it
a bit
was,
further down.
That's right, it was.
Yeah.
I'm just looking in the chat room, so we've got Charles has put some comments on. I don't know what he's saying. Sean is really owl. Sean is really a owl. I don't know what it means. It's okay, owl, and it's put down on your medical records as being a case of COVID-19. That's my dear friend Charles Ernest Spencer that's written that. So there's a couple of comments in there, but that's all I can see at the moment. There's just a couple of remarks by Charlie Farley.
Yeah.
And surprised he's not jumped in with us. He sometimes comes on with us. If you're listening, Charles, you're quite welcome to join us if you want to. Be my guest if you want to come on with us and have a little chat with us and make the evening go by. So yeah, that's Charlie's in there. I think 1849. That must have been in David's shows before that. So I managed to get.
Yeah, we was when I come in was talking about COVID. So that's probably from then. But
I think we've had 1 death in Lincolnshire in a week. And then prior to that, I think it was 1 death, and that was in a week. So in 2 weeks, we've had 2 deaths yet. We're on tier 3.
Yeah. I mean,
right? So how do you work that out? That London, right, with the population, what, 10 million? Right? For the amount of people that are in London, gets a tier 2. And Lincolnshire's a big county. I think it's second to Yorkshire for size, border-wise, boundaries. It just doesn't make sense.
No.
Another thing is, with the mask, what I noticed in Manchester is people walking down the street not wearing masks, right? It's people that are eating, right? And they ain't got a mask on. They've got a mask on. They've taken it down to eat. But they're walking down the street eating food. So what is the point of having a mask if you even have to take it off to eat? And if you're going to walk about, isn't it the same?
Exactly. It's all a load of crap.
Isn't it the same difference that, do you know, I mean, we hit on the tier system. In one place to the capital city being different to the rest of the country. And when we've heard of the talk about the great and north and south divide, but that's been a case since we were kids.
Yeah.
London always had everything and been given everything, done everything, because it's the home of politics, because it's the capital city. It just seems to be more beneficial than any of our northern towns and cities.
Yeah, well, I mean, down here apparently it's gone up. I mean, my daughter's sister-in-law has apparently got it now, and JC said that when she worked for her old boss, a lady went in there, and the owners of that shop has now got COVID. So
yeah, well, you know, we're not saying there is nothing out there. Because there's people who've died of it.
Yeah.
But again, when we were talking about face masks and about this tier system, right? What about the cases that have been exaggerated? Are the numbers truthful?
No.
Politicians could lie about one thing, lie about something else, you know? And then why are they putting all deaths in? I mean, let's put it in a different way. In January time, me and Kath were really, really poorly. I got kind of flu-like symptoms in January, and I felt like crap, absolute crap and shit. And Kathy had ended up getting double pneumonia. And I said to her, do you know what? If you'd have got that double pneumonia in March time, they would have put it down to COVID.
Yeah.
And I don't dread to think of what would have happened to her in hospital, because you know, I don't know what's happened to our national health, because I know for years and years and years they've probably been underfunded, or, you know, for what they've done or how they've managed. It's been a good institution in some respects. It was nothing as a free meal, because I mean, you look at the prices of prescriptions now, nearly what, £9 prescription, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, if I got mine, I would never be able to pay for them.
And a lot of services now are starting to go more into the private sector. I mean, I had a prostate problem, and I had to go to private clinic.
Yeah.
Okay, the National Health probably footed the bill for it, but what happened to Kathy didn't, because they misdiagnosed Kathy, and they told her after 5 biopsies that she had cancer. So they radiated her of the throat, the thyroid, the prostate gland, and her skin went like leather. She could never swallow again. She can't even swallow her own saliva. She goes through, you know, like a box of tissues a day. And you've seen Kathy many a time.
Yeah.
You talk to her. And you've seen what she goes through. You've actually phoned me, and we've spoken while she's peg feeding. And you've said hello to her and seen her, like, putting her injections and stuff. But that was all done through the National Health because of misdiagnosed. If they weren't sure, why didn't they refer him to the Royal Hampshire Hospital, to it's like I see some police forces, they investigate themselves. Why isn't an outside force brought in to investigate it, or an outside body brought in to investigate something that's different from the councils or other institutions or establishments that we've got?
Yeah.
And I wasn't prepared to go out there and clap the NHS when people were standing on the doors banging saucepans and clapping, because it nearly killed Kathy. The chemotherapy, she lost all her hair, and she's always had beautiful hair, Kath. She's just such a beautiful person. She's a good soul, good hearted. She's never ever done anything wrong in her life. She's never been in trouble in her life. She's never been in trouble with the police. Never been at a police station.
It always happens to the good ones.
And Margie, my sister, Margie was taken, and that was cancer. That was breast cancer. But that was another thing. Margie was so desperate to have children because of what happened to us in Beechholme. She was desperate to have children of her own and give them the one thing that we never got as children, and that was love and affection.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the. Do you know, if you don't get that love and affection and that bond like in a family unit, it does tend to play on you. It's you know, because we never got it was loveless childhood for us.
Yeah.
In Beechholme.
I mean, you know, like, I think like when Harper, she normally, because we got a big hill at the side of us, and she normally falls down and go in nursery, and she cut, you know, hurt her leg, but you pick her up, you kiss and cuddle her, kiss it better and everything. But we never got that. We were sent to sick bay, come back, and that was it. Like nothing had happened. You know, and just
because at one stage, you know, we used to have our eyes, our ears. I think we had a dentist as well in the sick bay, didn't we?
Yeah. Brian's just messaged me.
What's he saying?
Do I know someone called Chancer? Good or bad?
Don't know. Don't know.
Well, yeah. I was going to say to you, yeah, I'm going to go through your thing to see who you've got on there, because you've got too many that are doing nothing.
Yeah, that's right. There is a lot on there that's doing absolutely nothing. And I've had a couple of people not very happy with what's happened on some of my posts. Is like people asked to be friends or request friendship, and you think, well, if they're going to generally support Beechholme, then why not? Because at the end of the day, if we're talking about child abuse, what happened in child abuse, and stopping it from happening tomorrow, then I'm all for that.
Yeah.
And if people want to support us in our journey, that's good.
Yeah.
Some of these people can criticise John for giving people that vocal platform in the first place, but the trolls and the criticism thereafter aren't wanted. And the amount of people, I put up something one day where, you know as well as I do how much it cost us to go all over the country like we do. It costs me, I think, 35 quid or something like that by train. And then I'm using my vehicle to get to the station, then it's £5 to park at the station. So, you know, if you say the best part of £100 when we do a rally, by the time you've had your food and you spend money out and whatever you do. And it's not just the same for us, it's the same for everyone, all the patriots, supporters, and all the people out there that go out to give a voice and be heard, and go out there to make try and make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, it costs me over 60 quid when I go up to London. Then I have to pay, you know, I do all the flyers to take with me, and it adds up, and people don't realise. But I mean, there was one on mine the other day, someone Burzen, and she'd put something, Jeanette's video up in my Beechholme Warriors. And I looked, she wasn't a friend of mine, but she was on my Warriors page.
Yeah, I've got that. So people think the same thing to me. They put on our wall, Beechholme, or Alan Merritt wall, and you don't mind people supporting you, talking about child abuse and that, because there are some good ones.
Yeah, there are.
Very good.
But when you get someone like that, she's not even my friend.
Yeah.
And I messaged her. I said, you know, you're not on my friends list. I don't have anything to do with SRA on my Beechholme Warriors.
Yeah.
So I'll be deleting it, which I did, and I blocked her. You know, I don't want, and I need to go through because there's people there that have added me as a friend, and then never said anything in Messenger, not hello, nothing. And I think, well, you're going, mate.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah, I need to sit down and.
You do need
it's
to.
It's trying to find time to, because, you know, like, I'm still got quite a bit of things that I want to do, and, you know, I'm in the process. Like, as soon as I finish tonight, I'm going to go up in the loft to make sure everything's all right in the loft, that there's no leaks. You know, I've got to go and check all the joints and everything to make sure everything's all right. But because the idea coming through the ceiling, I've had to put the heating on as well to try and dry the house out a little bit. And normally when I sit in here, there's I don't have the central heating on because we've got the log burner. And sometimes I put the fan heater on it because it is really cold in this conservatory. Like chalk and cheese in the summer, it's like an oven.
Yeah.
In the winter, it's like a fridge. It's all right when you put the central heating on. You can sit here comfortably. I'm sat here with my sleeves rolled up now. But, you know, I just seem to be so busy doing so much. I don't know what it is. Life doesn't seem to be, or a day doesn't seem to have enough hours sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a load going on yours, and I've checked them out, and I've just deleted them.
Yeah.
Because they've got one friend in common.
Yeah, well, you are admin, so I appreciate.
Yeah. Because you've had quite a few, and I think I've gone and checked them now. Just delete them, and I've had it on mine as well. But I've got to go through mine. But you've got to write them down. You go through your messenger, see if they've contacted you. Not just, you know, they might just put one comment and that's it. And that could be last year. So write their name down.
Yeah.
And go through it like that. And then
at the weekend, it was so nice. Like on you know, I stayed with Jimmy. Jimmy stayed with me all day long, and he stayed with me till I caught my train. And I mean, the guy's had 5 heart attacks. You know, and he's still such a great patriot. He's still a fantastic campaigner. Now, guys like that, you know, I'll go to his backyard anytime to support him and give him the support that he gives. He's always stood by us. He's always stood by me. He's like a mate.
Yeah, that's why I'd like to come out next year with him.
You know, and I don't mind going to Manchester and supporting the Manchester group because, you know, there was Lee there yesterday and there was John there, and Ricketts is having to isolate for so many days because she's been away.
Yeah.
But she would have been there, and there's so many. I've seen quite a few other people that I knew there and said hello to. A lot of places I didn't know. And we did walk round through the city centre. They did go ahead twice. The second time, me and Jimmy decided not to walk round, and then I think they came back when it was getting dark. Finished up at Piccadilly Gardens, where Queen Elizabeth statue is. But it was a good turnout, and bravo to everybody that turned out, and congratulations to everyone that participated in it. Trying to get their voice out there. Piers Corbyn, of course, spoke, and there was 1 or 2 other people that spoke. But a lot of people were trying to get in the party mood and be joyful, and, you know, put a bit of light onto.
Yeah, I mean, I will come out with you next year. I will come to Manchester. But as I say, because I live on the south coast, it takes me hours to get home to here from London.
Yeah, that's the trouble. You are quite a way away.
Yeah.
I mean, you. I'm just looking in the chat room, see if there's any more chats. 1846, 1946, Linda. And just put a couple of, I'm just happy to listen to you both, Linda Hardy. Thank you, Linda.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, no one pays us. That's why we will get there. Yeah, she's made a. She's put a couple of points up, which is it's always handy to just like Jason says, he keeps telling me to do it. And
Yeah.
I'm frightened of like when I do it that I end up, because I've done it a couple of times where you bring up this screen like we've got now, you get the echo coming and you can hear yourself too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's better to do it first time, because then if it goes wrong, you're not part of the show, so you can get the chat room up, get the video that's playing muted or paused, and then come into Zoom and join in, and have that already set up ready for you to look back at.
Yeah, I'm using it more tonight than I've done it in the past, because before what I've done in the past has gone on my phone just in case. A couple of times I've done it when it has. I've had background noise. It's quite embarrassing.
Yeah, we are actually going out on YouTube and Facebook as well tonight.
Right, so if anyone's watching, I can't see.
We're out on Twitter as well, going out live on Twitter.
No, I can't see any chat. If there's any chat in YouTube,
let me have a little look and see what I can see. Piper Dave's been saying hi and chucking a few comments and questions out. Let's have a look. Kevin's saying Jimmy's great at all the demos.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Second that. Third it. Fourth it. Fifth it.
Oh, Brian Clare's in the side chat on YouTube as well. I said hi, Alan.
Hi, Brian. Another great campaign, Brian. Another good guy. Stood by us, me and you, Sue. Brian stood with us since day one.
Yeah.
And you know, whatever differences people have, and sometimes people's opinions differ.
Oh, of course they do.
And we don't always agree. I don't always agree with Jason.
We don't know. Nobody likes everyone, do they? It's always people we don't like.
No.
You know, but others will like. So.
I thought it got a bit heated last week with Paul on it.
Oh yeah, with Jason.
That was fun. That's not. If you think that's heated, you should see some of the things I got into.
That
wasn't heated. Yeah. It was a disagreement and a debate, but there's no lack of respect. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone's entitled to believe what they want to believe. You know?
Yeah.
And we haven't all got to agree. You know.
No,
when you get two people that don't agree, it can get a bit heated. But at the end of the day, you know, if you can't have a little bit of a debate and get heated without falling out, then what's the world coming to, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, that's very, very true. Well put.
Yeah.
But yeah, to the untrained ear, they hear two people going at it with two different opinions, and oh god, they're in a row. Look at them two. He said, she said, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's not always a row.
There was a little bit of Saturday with a religious group. There's a guy there spurting about religion and so on and so forth, and on a mic, like on his soapbox and that. And I think John got a warning by the police because this bloke started saying, "Well, look at him, he's saying this, that, and the other," but he was almost instigating a kind of like response.
Yeah.
I know John will respond anyway, because if John's got something to say, here, say it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was watching Stephanie Bonner today, you know, Reece Bonner's mum.
Yeah.
And she's leaving. She's not going to the square anymore.
Why?
She can't. I mean, I saw that video where they dragged her son's with the rope round his waist.
Oh my God.
I saw the police dragging him.
This is disgraceful. That when you see police officers, right, beating people, knocking old people over, throwing people to the floor in the way they do, that's got to be so degrading. I've had it done to me. I've had 8 of them beat shit out of me, and I'm not a copper lover.
Yeah,
never been a copper lover. You know, at the end of the day, you got good and bad in everybody.
Yeah, that's right.
But the way they have acted in our child abuse,
yeah,
the way we were treated when we were younger. We never had a shoulder to cry on. We had nobody to go because both me and you went to the police.
Yeah.
About what happened to us in Beechholme, and nothing was done about it.
No, I got the cane for it.
And we were told that, children were seen, not heard, and rubbish like that. And I know we went through that, Operation Brockhurst.
Yeah.
We had a really bad time with it. I mean, you think of all the money that they spent on, 4 times I think they came up to see me in my 60s. I've got to relive all that. I sit in a video recording room, like a rape suite or whatever they want to call it, and talk all about being sexually abused, physically and mentally tortured. And about the times, God, we had some really horrible wallpaper in Laburnum. And I used to make you stand and face the walls and look at this wallpaper. I hated that wallpaper because I was staring at it like a bit of grass. It was like whispers of grass or something like that on the wall. And I used to stare at this. And that's all you had to look at. And if you turn around, you got a clamp or you got the backs of your legs slapped because you was in shorts. The amount of times we stood facing the wall. Did you ever get that, facing the wall? Don't stand and face the wall.
No, as I say, the first house I was in, it's classed as abuse, was when I caught one of the aunties kissing one of the boys around the kitchen and he threw a knife and cut on my lip. Nothing else. Then Armand, things happened there where I was suffocated and, at night when I was sleeping. But that was by kids. That wasn't by Aunt Nikki. Aunt Nikki was fair but firm.
Yeah, I'm sure I went in Armand. Because in Armand, I don't know who it was in Armand, but it was a lad that we got on well with, and he used to have one of the best camps in the outside loft. Where the beans were in the outside sheds where the toilets were, used to have like a little storeroom with the potatoes and stuff like that.
You had the rafters across it.
And they used to put forks across there and make camps and all that. He made a really good one in Armand.
I don't know who that was.
And I copied it in Laburnum, and I put a camp up in the rafters there. And I put a trapdoor in one of mine, and one of the geezers found out about our camp and climbed up there and fell through this trapdoor that I put in. And I saw him, yes, Sandy. And I saw him.
I was just messaging Sandy a second ago because you put a comment on YouTube saying that he wasn't able to come on. I don't know whether you meant technically not able to or he'd been busy. So maybe you can ask him.
Okay.
Is Papa Smurf there? Are you there, Sand?
Oh,
Is it
hello.
the Scottish Rasta Papa Smurf?
Oh, he was an elf yesterday.
An elf?
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, he was an elf yesterday.
Did you fall asleep? Did you fall asleep, Papa?
Wait a minute. 1 minute, please.
Okay.
When my great granddaughter see him as an elf, he sent a video, and she said to me, "Nana, can I speak to the real Sandy, please?"
Sorry.
She knew it was him, but she wanted to speak to the real Sandy, not Sandy as an elf. Didn't she? Do you remember?
Yep. Oh,
Yeah. Have you just woke up?
No, I went to my bed, honest. I went to my bed last night at 11 o'clock. I was exhausted. I got up at 10 o'clock. I had something to eat and I went back to my bed and I was up about half an hour.
See, I knew it. You can tell when you just woke up.
Been in the world last night with Santa.
Linda's in the chat room. She says, "Hi, Sandy."
Oh, hi there. No, but it was what a day in Glasgow yesterday. Oh, wow.
Didn't the police charge with a horse or horses?
Yeah, but that was before Jane and I arrived. There were 4 police guys and horses. Raced right into the crowd, went up to one of the speakers seemingly, and told them if they used the F word anymore, they were getting arrested. But as I was saying to the police later on, I goes, you've got to remember, I goes, when someone's up there, they're reliving their past. This is no scripted. If it slips out, it slips out. And he goes, I don't care, we'll arrest him. I goes, well, that's disgusting and shocking. I goes, because hang on, I goes, I bet you lot were slipping like that. So we had a wee talk and we seen sense after it. And but later on in the day, just before we finished at the square, Jesus man, all these police vans and all sorts arrived and they were all jumping out. There were one of them, he come in plain clothes where he had a phone and he was video recording. And then the next thing he went back into the van. He went over to two policemen and he was showing them this. And then the next thing, one of the police guys, he went to the van, and the next thing all these police guys come out and they sort of blocking off the ends as if they were trying to block us in.
Yeah, kettle, yeah.
And they come in and stood at the front of us, a big row of them. And we were doing nothing. I mean, you've seen yourself, we're peaceful. But no need of that yesterday. No need of that at all. That was diabolical. Absolutely shocking. And of course, it does trigger a few people off. You can't say it doesn't, because there were no need of that. And then they're just, it was just ridiculous. That's all I could say there. The way it went. So
that's the first time you've seen it, Sandy, though, isn't it?
Yeah, anything like that. There were we turned our back on them.
Yeah.
Right? We were in the face of them, we turned our back on them. And we just kept everything peaceful. So there were nothing. Eventually they went away.
Yeah.
But the way that was handled, especially the ones coming in, I never seen it, so I can't comment too much on it. But if I'd have been there, then probably I could. But for four guys and horses to come charging in the crowd, especially with the kids here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I'm
Great.
concerned, what would have happened if one of them employed a kid?
I was watching something while you were on. I was watching something the other day. I don't know if it was a video or something was on, and I think Nicola Sturgeon was on Good Morning Britain. And what's his name? Piers Morgan, is it? Piers Morgan.
Oh, come.
And what's her name? Sarah. Is it Sarah somebody? Sarah, whatever her name is, the woman that hosts it with. I don't watch it, to be truthful. I just saw this video, and they were praising her, saying that the Scottish people, she's since COVID, and thinking that she's become the most popular politician, and the Scots people love her. And I thought, where do these people live? Because what I've heard, the Scots can't stand the woman.
Yeah. I've got to go to the toilet. I'll be back.
But Sturgeon was liked. I liked her at one time and all kind of said, didn't he? But she became a member of the Queen's Privy Council. And she said, she's an arse. Oh, sorry, but she's, just somebody else, you know. And as far as this independence for Scotland goes, anybody wants to put a bet on with me, I'll put a bet on with them. Scotland will not get it. Scotland will not be independent when Sturgeon's here. Guaranteed.
Sturgeon says she's definitely going to have it while she's there.
She'll go. But it'll be the same again. Oh, we didn't get it. And then, Indy 3, and then Indy 4, and we didn't get it. And this will continue. She doesn't want independence. She doesn't want independence. Because she knows that if Scotland did get independence, and if we got independence, okay, they might get in it, but there would need to be an election held. And if there were an election held, she would be booted out. The only reason she's getting votes is they think it's Scotland's only way is for independence. It's through Sturgeon. True facts. She'll never get it with her. But personally, and I'll be truthful, I did it one time in my life. I wanted independence so much.
Yeah.
No, not now. No. I see the corruption. I work with the SNP. I was threatened by the SNP. They were going to come and bad things would happen to me. That's how you hear when I do lives every now and again. I'll put out a thing. If anything bad happens to me, you know who to blame. I've seen it happening. Well, I've not seen it, but I know of it happening with SNP when people talk out. And I was threatened that they would come to my door and bad things would happen to me and my family and that. Bring it on if they want to try that with me. They'll not take me down easily. You know, I hate this. I'll come and bad things will happen and you'll be taken away and your family. No. I've seen that happening to so many, Melanie Shaw, blah, 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 down the list. I've seen MP.
Me too, we're talking about that earlier on, Sandy. We was actually talking, there's a couple of things that you've hit on that we were actually talking about. We were talking about, it's like, I was in Manchester Saturday with Jimmy and the guys there. There was a protest. The police behaved themselves. They was good as gold in Manchester. Great Manchester Police seemed to handle it a lot better than I have done in the past, because the last time I was in there, they was quite bad. But they were filming everybody. You had the police spot cameras, or what they call them. I forgot what they call them, the observation unit or whatever it is. In the blue tabards, filming everybody, and it, you know, it was a good turnout. I don't know if you saw any of the videos that I put up. I put a couple of videos up. I don't know if you saw them.
Yeah, well, I would say in Glasgow yesterday, that was one of the biggest turnouts we ever had. And what happened up here? I don't know why. Why did the police come charging in? Why was someone there in the crowd videoing us all?
Yeah, we had that.
This guy that was doing that go along with his phone and go to these other police and pointing.
I think every rally that I've been to, now, we weren't taped when we was in George's Square, Scotland before, was we? I don't think we were anyway. There was liaison officers there. But when I've been to London and other places, Nottingham, London, and places like that, we have been taped.
Because later on in the day, when we were doing the Glasgow Santa and the Scottish Elf Stunt, you know, this is for kids.
Yeah, well, that's another thing we were talking about earlier on. Me and Sue said, it's tomorrow's kids we're talking about.
Yeah, well, we do this for kids. We've done it. There's, well, we've got a new wee elf, we've got a new wee elf started with us, and it's wee La. So we've gave her a name. She's our French correspondent. La Elf. so we've got her. So, but as I say, we were there yesterday, and we were getting ready. We come round the corner. There were three. They were Ricky, La, myself, and we've got on the gear. Ricky's got on the Santa suit. I've got on the elf, and La's got on.
Yeah, I think I saw Ricky dressed as Santa. Was he with
Laura?
Laura?
If you run the site, you'll see the videos and stuff.
Yeah. I think I've seen it.
We made national papers up here in Scotland. Yeah.
So, I think you do every time, though. Not national papers, but you always get a mention, because when we were up there in Scotland, the local rag picked up on us, didn't they?
Yeah, but don't get me wrong, I've got a lot of good friends that works with the press.
Yeah.
Stuff they'll not print. Most of it, you know, like the kids' graveyard and stuff like that, they'll print all that. But what you've got to remember with the press, these guys only work with the press. They write a story. That's got to go to their editor. And the editors of these papers are, oh no, we can't put that. That's good old Nicola and that. We can't put that. Oh, Alex Salmon. Oh, no, he's a good man. That. He abuses children. We can't do that. You know, so they'll not put it in. But stories like Warriors with the kids' gravestones, that's a good, well, okay, wasn't it? It was something that had to be known.
Yeah.
To be in it. And I mean, you've seen it yourself. I mean, the one that really got me during that time with the kids' gravestones was John Wedger. That man broke down. I seen that with my own eyes. When we were walking around and he came outside with us. I don't know if
you know something? It's strange you say that, Sandy, because when we was in Nottingham, now Sue's a tough old character. Less of the old, but she's a tough character, that is our Sue, and she never cries or shows emotion. She's a really, really tough woman. She cried when I spoke Nottingham, and I said to her, she is the last person I thought I would have saw seemed brought tears to their eyes. And I went over to John, and John turned around and said, he just wiped his eye, and he said to me, "You brought tears to my bloody eye."
Yeah. I'm just looking at me trade second. I like that.
You know what? I just had tears brought to my eyes. I went down because it's very quiet here. And with 2 kids here and 2 mothers that are normally shouting, thought it's because I've gone down, I nearly got knocked out. JC's putting these nails on, and the stink of it made me recall. I said, open the bloody window. My sitting room looks like a bomb's gone off on it. There's all tea sets, all my cushions are all over. I'm staying up here tonight. They better clean it up. You know.
That's a warning going out, Susan Rampage tonight.
I will be. I've got 3 lights on in the bedroom. Left the lights on, just gone downstairs. You know. They don't pay me bills, do they?
Oh, that's like Jane, you know. Got the lights on. Jane will go into the bedroom, leave the light on, then in the kitchen, leave the light on, then in the toilet, leaves the lights on, none of the lights are on.
I can't stand it. Cannot stand the lights being left on.
Phobia.
I'm a wee bit like myself. No.
Dan, we were talking about me and Sue earlier on a lot of things that you've touched on as well. And one of the things that I was saying about is like when we talk about various things that we do and what we see when we're out on the streets, what I noticed in Manchester, a hell of a lot of it, the streets are absolutely chock a block. There was no social distance in Manchester in the high street. People were eating food, walking down the road with no mask on, or they had masks on, but they dropped them to eat food. Now, surely, if they're eating food, all right, okay, they're eating, so they can't have a mask on to feed. But what's the difference between having a mask on and not having a mask on, and them eating food with no mask? Do you know what I mean? Because it's probably the same, isn't it? Because they're still breathing, and whatever the case might be, and saliva or whatever droplets might come out of their mouth, or whatever the case might be, while they're eating. More so when they're eating, because you know yourself, crumbs and stuff will drop out of your mouth when you're eating. And
yeah, you know, it was like Glasgow yesterday. I mean, if you see the lives I do up there of the past,
yeah, we do watch them, yeah.
And I'll show the streets and they're empty. Yesterday, a lot of people in Glasgow put it that way. But the thing it does get me, and it was Ricky McConnell the other night went to Glasgow and did something similar to what I'd done on Saturday. And I took the wee walk, and I'm going out live, and you'll see it if you look. The amount of people that's got masks on. Okay, some majority's not, but the biggest majority has. They're all walking about with these masks. Then you'll go and you'll see the sort of Asian community and all these brought in people, as I call them. And they're walking about, they don't give a shit, no masks, nothing. Not a thing on. You know? Why
Linda's just put a comment up in the chat room. Sorry, Sandy. Linda's just put a comment up in the chat room and nearly brought a tear to my eye. And she's got, and I saw you for the first time with John Wedger, the first time you actually talked. The man you have become now, and you found yourself in the last 6 months. It's very, very difficult to do what we do.
Yeah.
To talk about the abuse that we went through, you've got to have some sort of backbone to do what we do.
Well, I think it got me yesterday. It really got me. And I'll be truthful, it pissed me right off. As soon as I walked into the square, this fella come up to me. Sandy, I wee word with you. And it's, I wee word with you. So, right, I know what is it? See when you come here, he goes, you watch your language. He goes, when you're up there speaking. That's what he mean. He goes, you're always swearing. I goes, well, I can't help that. I goes, I don't write things down. I don't go, well, I said a swear word, score that out. I goes, I speak from my heart. I speak honestly. I speak open. I goes, words can slip out. I goes, every one of us do it. Now, there were a woman speaking at that time, and she's F this and F that, and F and pedophile, F and police, going nuts. right? So anyway, he goes to me about what's my language when I got there. He goes, I had a lot of complaints about you. I've had people coming to me all day here. So I asked him, I goes, who are these people? Just people. I goes, no, point them out and I'll go up and see them. I goes, we can talk this out. I know, it's all right, but just watch. Right, so as I told him, I goes, no effort will stop me from speaking here. Right, I started swearing. I done it to PMO. Goes, no effort will stop me from effing speaking. I goes, and if an effing word comes out, so effing be it. I goes, okay, just wind him up a bit. So anyway, I goes, another thing I hate. I goes, I hate two-faced people that goes behind your back. I goes, they've not got the guts to come to you directly and say, Sandy, cut the language.
Mm.
We're one woman. I'll not get her name out here.
I know it is.
Well, you seen it, Sue. And I entered Glasgow Green, and I went, but she'd been on to me about, about swearing in front of her grandkids. Now, this woman is the biggest swearer in George Square. Every week, effing Paulus, effing pedophiles, effing. Right, so I'm not getting on to that. That comes out, it does come out when you speak. But anyway, we ended Glasgow Green. I want a word with you. And she pulled me aside and we had a word. All right, we fell out. But see now, we go to that square and we're hugging each other. How you doing? Oh, Sandy, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. We got on brilliant. And this is what it's about. Linking together, joining. That's fighting for our children. Fighting our children. Now, yesterday as well, I seen things that really opened my eyes. Now, we done a thing yesterday, and we had teas, coffees, food going for the homeless. This was a homeless day, and for kids. And we're food parcels and clothing given out that had been donated. The people of Glasgow, I personally thank, and I hope there are many watching tonight.
Yeah, here.
Amazing.
I have to say one thing, Sandy. I've got one thing to say. You do tend to swear a fucking lot.
Says you.
I'm trying not to swear back in it, right? But honest,
Hang on, I've got to go. I've got a message. I don't know if he wants me from Brian to see if it's okay for him to come in. Let me go and
I did say he can come on. He's all right to come on if he wants to.
I'll go and tell him. Hold on, I'll be back.
Brian can come on anytime.
Yeah, but that yesterday, and I was doing a video, a live video, putting it out, and I was walking about, and there was a homeless guy come up, and he had a pair of trainers.
Yeah.
And he goes, they're nice trainers, but they're too wee. He goes, I'll put them back for somebody. He goes, you know what I don't like? He goes, there are people coming here. He goes, and they're filling bags. He goes, they'll sell that in enemy. And it was the greedy bar stewards. I said bar stewards, not the big word. He goes, they're greedy bar stewards. So I goes, so how you doing? I goes, I'm getting out live. He goes, and this hot me for 6. He goes, please, don't put me on. Don't put me on a camera. I don't want my kids to see me. That really hit home to me. They just 2 words. Here's a man out in the streets, sleeping there every night. Every night sleeping in the streets rough. And what really pisses me off here, we're giving billions of pounds every year to foreign aid. Just now we're bringing immigrants. The hotels in Scotland are overrun with them. Overrun with these immigrants.
Yeah.
But yet, we let our own people starve. I was looking at a thing today as well. In Scotland, there are more food banks in Scotland that are in the high streets than are McDonald's restaurants. And that's true. Why the hell? I believe charity begins at home. We're paying, as taxpayers, we're paying money to the government to be used wisely. That money should be used in our home country for our own people. Nobody should be sleeping bloody streets in our day and age, and nobody should be going to a food bank to feed a family, starving.
Yeah.
That's bloody disgrace. But we've got to give money. Nicola told me one day, but we've got to give money to these poor people. They're poor people. Do you not realise they're poor? Because what about our own people? And they know poor sleeping in the street. Yes, but we're not talking about that. We're talking. See, we didn't want to know about our own bloody people that sleep in the streets.
Same as that down here, they don't either.
It's shocking. Bloody ridiculous. Now, I have slept in the streets. I've been there.
Well, yeah.
I've been called every name, you know, your alkies, bar steward, and your drunken this and that. I had folk pissing on me, and I swear in it. I had these 4 guys one night, well, 3, sorry, pissing on me one night. Hey, they thought that was fun. I'm going to be sleeping by trying to keep myself warm. No, that's a joke. Because people, they see these people sleeping in the street, and be truthful here, how many folk have you seen? I'll walk by them.
Yeah.
And they'll pass a comment, junkie, alky, whatever. But no,
I never walk by.
very seldom will you see somebody stop them and talk to them. I'm buying them a bit of food. I do. I've done it many
I
times.
do. I give them money.
Can you see the screen, Sandy?
Mm-hmm.
So can you see what Jason's put up?
Oh, no, I can't see that, but no. No, I can't.
No.
Ding, 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 ding.
Can you see the train?
I can see the
The
train.
picture. That's
Him
what
going round and round the train with him with his hat and everything else. Did you know he was anorak? He stands on the end of the platforms.
Who? Oh.
If he's listening, he'll say something. He's about to say something because I know what he's going to do. Ian's in the chat room. Ian's turned around. He says that the Scottish people don't swear. It's part of their patter.
I would say that it's true, you know, it's sort of bred into us. Well, I'm going to swear here, and the best one was Billy Connolly, and he summed it all up.
Ah, yeah, brilliant. I love Billy Connolly.
The word fuck, it's a fantastic word, because it can be used in so many phrases.
Yeah.
It can be used when you're sad, it can be used when you're happy. You know, you can go, oh, fuck. Guess who's dead? Right, but that's a Scottish thing. Guess who's dead? You know, I think that's amazing. You know, guess who's dead? No, let me think. No, can you guess? You know, everybody in the graveyard die, you're near it, you know. Right, so you can be used, oh, fuck, my man died today. And else it can be used happy. Oh, fuck, I've got great news. My daughter's getting married. That's fucking great. So it is. Glad they fucking... And that's the way it goes up here. You know?
Ian's just come back with another remark. He's turned around and says, in the chat room, brought up on the Scottish estate. He was brought up on the Scottish estate. People were brought down from Scotland to work in the pits in the 50s and 60s.
Who was that, sorry?
He just put Ian up. It's just come up as Ian. He said he was brought up on a Scottish estate. People were brought down from Scotland in the 50s and 60s and worked in the pits in the 50s and 60s. The sound folk, he's saying, basically. Lynn put another comment up, was from Wales, life next to Scottish miners in South Yorkshire. Yeah, so we know all about the mines and
you know,
the host that comes on before us. He was talking about the amount of percentage of people that have lost their jobs in Wales. I think was it 13% or something like that in the hospitality trade or businesses have lost their businesses, or since this COVID malarkey. I saw a sign when I was up in Manchester, and it was costing something like businesses £8.1 million in lost business. I don't know. I can't quite remember what I actually saw. What period of time it was, even if it was day or week or month or whatever, but yeah, 8.1 million was being lost by businesses in whether it was in the Manchester region, Cheshire, or Greater Manchester area.
This lockdown carry on and now, as you're talking about here, this is going to cost billions.
Oh, it has cost that already.
Billions, it's costing it. Where the hell's all this money coming to pay it back? We'll just print more at the mint. It doesn't work that way.
Borrowed it, haven't they? They borrowed loads and loads of money, which the taxpayer will end up paying back one way or the other. But there's got to be something to it, because
Oh,
why would we borrow all the money that we borrowed to get ourselves in debt when the question might actually be, do we want to declare ourselves almost bankrupt to get rid of our debt?
yeah. My thing is now, this is the start of the new world order and now we're getting in there. You can see it slowly coming. Silence the people, lock them away, blah, blah, blah. Now, we are in a shitload of debt. America, who we trade with a lot, they're in a shitload of debt. Every country virtually in the world is in a shitload of debt. You know? So, how do you do it? How do you get rid of this debt and make everybody its own money, you know, become debt free?
I've got to give Sean Morris.
Start again. Start again. It's the only way you can do it. Wipe all debt out and start again. That's a start to a new world order. And I bet that's where we're coming to.
Yeah, there's got to be a different or another agenda to all this crap, because you know, when you see the like of Matt Hancock, sorry, when you see the likes of him with his crocodile tears,
Yeah.
I mean, he would have got a Oscar. Don't know about an Oscar for that performance. And what's Sean? Come back to that. Sean made a really, really good reference to these people that are having these vaccinations now. Okay, some people have had a reaction to them, so they say. Don't know if anybody's died of it yet. They've seemed to have hushed it, because they talk about if we were in any conflict or war, or when we were in the Afghan, the Iraqi war, or when it was the various Middle Eastern disputes that we've been involved in, and even the Falklands War, right? If you look at the propaganda that this country played against other foreign governments and turned around and said, oh, it's all propaganda from their behalf, we seem to be got really bad at that now. Everything that we say is a kind of lie. Nothing's the truth anymore. You don't know what to believe. People just do not believe politicians anymore. People just do not believe the police anymore. People don't trust people in authority. People don't trust politicians and police officers. And I want to come back to this point that Sean's made. He turned around and said that, and it was quite poignant actually, that what happens with these people who have had this vaccination come the second wave. In the winter, you get a colds and flu in around about November, December time. And then you have another spate of in probably March, April time where people get colds and flu. What happens to those people, right, that have been vaccinated? What's it going to be like for them come March or April of next year?
Sorry, there's that thing that was made the world news more or less. That 91-year-old woman, first in the world to get the vaccine. Where is she today? I haven't seen her.
That's what I said, yeah.
You know, where is she?
She's supposed to have died in 2008.
Yeah, but she's appeared in other places like that. You know, with different names. She is an actress, we know that. We know she's an actress. Whether it's Patty, I can't say that.
All right, come here.
Get
Come
out,
say hello.
kids.
Come say hello to Sandy.
Oh, I'm a pal.
Say hello.
Hello.
Hello, Harper.
No,
Hey, Hops. Can you see me, Harper?
No, look at a good one. Look at a nice one.
No, look at the handsome one.
No, I don't.
She's saying thank you to you, Sandy, for a video from Santa Claus.
Oh, did Santa send you a video?
Did he? Yeah.
You got shy?
That's a little cotton sock.
Oh, you see the train.
Can you see me?
You know what she's come up for?
Can you wave, Harper? Hiya.
Wave then.
Hello.
She's come up because she's hungry.
Well,
Oh, you're hungry. She's always hungry, that child.
I know.
She's got to take one.
Go down and tell Mummy there's crumpets in the bread bin. All right?
No, not them.
What do you want?
Something in Chelsea's room.
Go and look in Chelsea's room then.
No, Jack's room.
Jack's not. You have to wait because I'm talking. Sit with Nana then quietly.
Harper, tell Gran to bring you up to Glasgow on Thursday.
You're not sweet either.
No,
Else.
a little bit.
Okay.
Wait to sit here and eat it. Like.
Where?
Eat
Ricky,
it. Go downstairs.
yesterday, he was donated all these Jesus. He's
I've got some chatting in.
Then I told her to come up and get an apple out of Thingy's room. She said, I'm not scared, and come straight up.
Oh.
Now there.
Quick eating.
hello.
Quick, Nana's on the phone.
JC, Sandy said hello.
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 Hi, Jace. How you doing?
Yeah, all good.
You're going to come out with people live tonight. That good idea for you, Sue.
He's gone out loud. You don't understand what he says.
No, I didn't hear what he said.
Oh,
I
well,
said,
you've gone out to people live tonight.
what it says like was you're going out live.
Yeah, she understands you. Her granddad's Scottish, isn't he?
Yeah. You got Scottish blood. In the chat room, we got Ian and
I'm back.
let me just tell them this. We got Ian and Linda that are putting posts up in the chat room, and Linda's put up the police are catching drug dealers left, right, and centre. The drug spy, the busload, the money lenders, so that they start going to court. They will lock down tax evaders. If not, what do you think? Something like that. And then there's another one that says the cops have turned corporate officers. Well, that's true. Should be constables working for the people. And Linda said yes, because there is something to that with these fines that they've been dishing out to people, because it's been traced back to a lot of police have been. I noticed that Grimsby Station, I'm not too sure if it's ACRO something, that run the car park. Now that's the same people that are issuing the fines. When they go to magistrates, it's corporate because it's civil, not criminal. So they're doing it under commerce. And somebody put up a letter the other day, and they've gone and done a bit of research into it and found out that a lot of the coppers are involved. I think 2 chief constables were involved in it, a sergeant and a couple of other police officers were part of it. So whether the government's turning around and saying, well, yeah, you do what you're doing, right, and as a little bit of a sweetener, right, because you're fighting for us, the government, you keep the fine money, because there's something not right in this.
Yeah, but the thing is, that in the UK, there are only 2 people can give out parking tickets. A lot of people don't realise this. The only people that can give out parking tickets is the police and the traffic wardens. You can go into a car park and you, like, Jane and I, we were in the Asdas and we were in the disabled bay and we forgot to put down the badge. And we come back, both big ticket, a fine. Pay it within 30 days or something, you saved so much money. And Jane's like, oh, no, you're not paying it. Oh, you've got to. I goes, no, you've not. So, just by chance, this police car comes in. I goes, come here. So I goes to the guys, I goes, listen, we've been fine, we've got a badge. He goes, no, you don't. And this is the 2 police guys that tell us this. You don't need to pay it. And that's how I found out about this. The only people that can give out a ticket is a police officer or a traffic warden. You can go into any car park, right? It's no council run, right? Make that clear. It's not council run. Partly, if you get a ticket, that's illegal. They cannot give you a ticket. They cannot. It's against the law. They've not got the authority. What they rely on is dumb people and going, oh God, I've got a ticket. Oh, if I don't pay it within 30 days, it's going to double or treble, whatever. Don't even answer. Don't answer. Phone up if you're finding difficulty paying this. Rip it up, put it in a bin. They maybe send you in about half a dozen, rip them up, put them in the bin, and they'll walk away. That's what we've done. Never paid it. No way.
You know what? Our traffic wardens are going round town at 9 o'clock at night. Down here. No, this is just a little town.
Seaside town.
Yeah.
But since this lockdown as well, and I heard you talking a little bit, but since this lockdown, pardon me, and you'll see it in the press, you'll see it everywhere, crime has went and dropped.
Yeah.
So the police, I don't know about down your area, but the police in Scotland, they've got to make so many arrests every week. You know, they've got to do this. And this is true. They've got to make so many arrests, and so many of that's got to be fines. Money for old Lizzie sitting down there in her bucky house. You know, that's where the money's going. You know, no, getting on here.
Well, to have her repairs done.
Right off. But just now, with the crime coming down, the money's not coming in. So they're picking in anybody they can just to get money. Oh, you dropped us, you know, oh, you in a sweetie? Yes. You dropped your paper. They're a fine for you, £60, anything they can get. And I don't know about down your area, but I do know in my home area of Scotland, and down the west coast here, the amount of police that I see in cars driving in motorways, pulling in speeders, they've got up all these illegal cameras taking photographs, catching people. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah. You know what I noticed on Saturday at the demo? I noticed the guys, there was one guy that was doing the filming all the time with the big video camera, and it was quite a big camera. It was almost like the news people would use these portable cameras when they're out and about. And there was another one. Now, he had a phone with him, and do you know, I don't know if you've ever seen now, when you go through the barriers at stations and things like that, they do everything on a phone now, or a tablet or something like that. They swipe all your tickets and all that with the barcodes, because they do the barcodes now with your tickets and stuff like that. Now, he was obviously, I don't know if you remember the Ring of Steel around London when the IRA were bombing the city of London and various places like that, and they formed the Ring of Steel, the 1 square mile of the city of all the banks and everything. And they used to have like police officers in like little, like soldiers, guards boxes. They used to have these little boxes in the middle of islands. Some of them were like little islands, bollards, where they put up. And they brought out, because of that, they brought out the first AMPR and CCTV cameras. And then they got the recognition for the number plates through the terrorists and the still mile around London, the city of London, through the island. Well, that's now been developed to kind of like facial recognition through an AMPR system, which is facial recognition. It will ping up. So now when they're filming, them little square boxes can go around people's faces. And he was looking at his screen, and people's faces were coming up on this screen. And he was looking at the crowd, looking down at this tablet or iPhone, you know, like this quite large phone. Or gadget, wherever it was got to be linked, similar to what they do with its tickets and stuff like that. And it's amazing how much technology they're using now. Ian's also put in the chat room. I'm just going to say, guys, there's a chat room going on as well, apart from us guys that are doing the live. And Ian and Linda have been with us most of the evening. And Ian says that yeah, they're obviously taking orders from above. They got to realise that at the end of the day, their families are affected as well, which we know that. If you look at the way the police service is running, more and more police services are being privatised. You look at the likes of Group 4, Serco, and different people like ACPO, and I mean, we're all taking a lot of their services away. Eventually, will they privatise the police service, like Group 4 was seen in Trafalgar Square, where they had police uniforms on, but the Group 4 was on the back of their uniforms, Metropolitan Police uniforms. Are they going to end up privatising them? And these guys will lose their pensions and everything they've worked for all their life. And there won't be none of that. And it's going to, all leads to Rome, so everything leads back to Rome.
But it's crazy, you know, it's just.
Yeah, it's the world's gone crazy. I mean, I've read on there earlier that the Chinese have started somewhere, and a load of them have been killed. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how
What
true
sort of
that
like territorial border dispute?
I'm not sure what it is, but I know they're saying a lot of soldiers have been killed, Chinese.
Did you remember that like we know about Americans in the Vietnam War? There was this time when the Vietnamese were pushing so much more into China. The Chinese sacrificed I think it was up to 1 million men to push them back into Vietnam. And they used military force to push them back off the Chinese border, out of their country, out of their territory, back into the Vietnamese border. And and I think they sacrificed up to 1 million soldiers to do it, or they put 1 million soldiers as like, to push them. It's like not in the same aspects of the same terms. It's like there's no coppers, and suddenly all these disputes and protests, there's thousands of coppers. They've got no coppers 1 minute, next minute when we do these protests, there seems to be thousands of them, and they seem to have loads of them to do this kettling and put you in your place, like you said, Sandy. They tried to kettle you in Georgia Square, and then the horses came in to try and trap people. They've been doing that in places like Nottingham, but that stems back to years and years ago, and that started from the football supporters. They used to kettle you at football matches. When you used to go, I remember the Chelsea Intercity mob and the West Ham Intercity mobs and stuff like that, Tottenham and all the rest of them. And they used to go to stations and have big rows or meet up at different places and have a bit of a barney. And I'm sure I remember the Chelsea Intercity mob because I was a Chelsea supporter myself, and or still am, should I say, from man to boy, and or boy to man. And I remember all that, and I remember the kettling comes from that. It's nothing new. When people turn around and say, "Hey, kettle," we've seen it in Nottingham and we've seen it at other places, but I didn't think I'd see it with the Scots, because what I've seen as Scottish, it's always been well placed or marshalled.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. I mean, so I'll tell you, the two policemen we spoke to a few months back here, and they told us they were going to go back and report to their superiors that it was a waste of them being there because we were peaceful.
Yeah.
And that's true.
The liaison officers with them blue tabards on them, light blue tabards, what we spoke to, Sandy, they were as good as gold. They said, well, every time we come in, there's never any trouble. It's always been peaceful. And then suddenly, the next thing, it's like charge of the light brigade.
Yeah. But have you noticed, Khan has been very, very quiet. You don't hear anything from Khan, do you?
No, I don't like him. Can't stand him.
No, I can't. But he runs the police force, doesn't he? So he's been very, very quiet.
In an American company doing escort for prisoners, I was in full chains like American service. I only needed shackles for my legs, and I would have been singing slave songs.
Well, I'm going to change it a wee bit here, but the other lady here, Jane.
Yeah.
Jane's been in lockdown here since March. Can't go home. We can't. Thank God, but Jane's gone, well, it's near Christmas. She's going to stay. But Jane's not been home since March. So she had to register with a doctor here. Got that done. And every month, now Jane needs meds. There's certain meds she needs to keep her alive. And every bloody month, her meds are all mixed up. The other week there, she was shot again. And this is medication she needs at bedtime to help her to sleep pain-free. And that was missing. That was on the Thursday. And she didn't get that to the Tuesday. Right?
Let me say something about that.
Our son David, right? Our son David phones his mum up. Mum, I don't know what's happening. I'm taking nosebleeds. My legs are all itchy. He was taking nosebleeds. He was taking nosebleeds. He was feeling all itchy. He goes, my heart's racing. He goes, I can feel my heart racing. And his mum goes, go and see the doctor. He goes, Mum, I was setting up my medication. And you know how every now and again, when you're in constant medication, they maybe change the manufacturer of the drug. It's the same drug,
Yeah.
but it's a different company, and it's got that name. You notice one of the boxes where you notice one of the boxes had a different name, so he took it as that. It was the same colour a pill as what he was getting. But he looked up his company name and he found out what they had given him was a blood thinner, which was causing all this nosebleeds and everything that goes with it. But on the box, the wee label the chemist puts in, this is what you get, you take that and sticks it on. That was the same. So he phoned up the chemist goes, and he'd phoned up, so I told David, I goes, don't get rid of them pills, keep them. I goes, sue the arse off them, and I'm truthful, right? I goes, sue the arse off them. I goes, that's gonna bloody kill you. So he phoned up the chemist, where are the pills? He goes, I've got them here. Oh, bring them in and we'll put them in the bin, right? We'll put them in the bin. David goes, no, you bring them. You know, he had to bring them. David again, no. He goes, I was advised not to hand them over. And who said that? She started getting a wee bit upbeat. Now, I put a post up on Facebook about this with Jane, and I didn't mention David's name. I put it up, and you want to see the amount private messages I had come in about that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's happening to me, it's happened to me. Ricky McConnell, my brother, my best mate, Ricky was going over to Africa and he was given these pills to take and he took them. Ricky, when he was on the plane heading over to Africa, he took them really not well, violently not well. And it was discovered there again, wrong pills. This is happening a lot. We're noticing this. To anybody that's listening in, if they get any medication and they notice a new type of box, check that out. Check it out because it's happening. You know, make your own decisions in that one. You know.
No, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. You know,
Yeah.
the National Health Service now is in one hell of a mess.
Yeah.
One hell of a mess. And I was talking to a couple of nurses there the other day as well. And they were telling us, you know, this carry on just now. They're not allowed to talk because
Yeah.
they can't talk out about it. Now, this is private, you know. And they were saying if we speak out, if our names was mentioned, we're going to get struck off. We'll never be nursing again. They're telling the nurses and doctors not to speak out.
Yeah.
There's no speak out. Also, and I mentioned this the other night there as well, if someone's taken into the hospital, no matter what it was, and as I said the other night, it could be a blister in their ass. They're taken in with that. If he died with that, at the end of that, die, cause of death, blister on the ass. But it's suspected COVID. They've got to put that on there. Suspected COVID. They've got to put that. So when this counselling they're looking through that, they don't see this blister in the ass. They see COVID. That's all they've got. There's one COVID, two COVID. Oh my God, look at all the people. There's folk dying every bloody day. And all the people that are dying every bloody day, at the end of it, suspected COVID. That's how they're getting their bloody counts.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I mean, that was in the news, right? There's sturgeon, beautiful Nicola, best wee things in sliced bread in Scotland. Not. Oh, mass deaths in Glasgow this weekend, right? But yet, she drops Glasgow for stage 4 down to stage 3. They're talking about when we go back into lockdown. Now, this is the bit that gets me. Why did she open up Scotland, drop it down to stage 3? Why did she do that? Especially the Glasgow area, which was in stage 4. But all of a sudden, drop it, let people out, do their Christmas shopping, spend the money, bring the money in. But at Christmas time, folk will be in a lockdown. You're not seeing your families again. right? Now, it was stated here that Sturgeon has got this wee plan, a stage 5. Right, this is true.
Yeah, it seems they've got 5 different.
I've been blasting this out to people. You know, I want people to know, because if people know, then they can, wait a minute, what the hell is this all about? They can, some folk don't believe it, they're hunters, because they think, Nicola, oh, every day. We don't, they're trying to get the Muslims not to bow to bloody Alex. Oh, Nicola, la, 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 la. You know, and it's bloody true. You know, the things that's happening up here in Scotland is shocking. There's school kids up here, right? And this is another thing that bloody annoys me. They've got to learn their language, because it's an insult. They can't talk honest Muslim talk. And they've got to learn to pray as well. So all our religions are going out and they're teaching the kids honest Muslim shit. I don't give a damn if you're Muslim, if you're Catholic, Protestant, the colour of your skin. Piss off. I don't care who you vote for. I care about our kids in schools. You know, I care about our kids in homes. I care about the kids in our country who's getting shipped off abroad. Right now, it's like back years ago with quarters shipping off kids to far off lands. They're doing that now. They're selling our kids to people abroad. That's disgusting. How dare they do a thing like that? And we're sitting on our backside doing nothing about this. It's not happened to my kid. You know?
No, I don't care.
I mean, you see them out in the street.
If you see what they've done to kids, if you see what they've done to old people's homes and the way that people, it's like you talking about Jane. My Kathy hasn't been outside this house for a year. And you see the way that people haven't been able to see their families, their loved ones, and the interaction with families. The family institution seems to have gone out the window a little bit, because it affects everybody. It affects the husbands, the wives, the sons, the daughters, the grandkids, the mothers, the fathers. It's just right across the board, and it's the lies and I kind of love me. Can't understand why people can't see what they're doing to people. It is so unreal.
I don't care.
It's really got to me. And one was the woman, and she went to see her mother.
Yeah,
and the mother was on the phone talking to her mother. And then the next thing, they're dragging, don't take my mother away, and they're shutting the blinds. Another one that gets me, this one. This is a mother, grandmother, the best woman I know. Brilliant campaigner and fighter. It's Jean Holmes.
Yeah.
And there, Jean, she go to see her husband. Because she said, correct me if I'm wrong, Sue, she goes, she'll speak to him outside the window. And he told her, no, because we would need to move a bed.
Yeah, in the chair, yeah.
True fact.
Yeah.
A bloody bed in the chair. We would need to move that so that her husband can go to the window to speak to his wife. This is
but Sandy, when you saw that video with that woman trying to see a mother, elderly mother, she said her lips look a bit blue, she's lost weight or discolour, she's not even recognising who I am, whether she's suffering from dementia or whatever the case might be. And the reaction that the staff member did in closing the curtains and wheeling away from her own daughter, you know, she was on her knees virtually in tears.
Yeah.
The disrespect that they showed to her. You think of how much money them nursing homes are getting as well, right? Because most of them are private corporations now. And you see how much money, there's no such thing now as social welfare for the elderly. It's gone.
The thing is today, right? Anyone who owns their own house, right? If you're taking no well and you're taking into one of an old age, you go in there. First thing you do, pension book, and your house is signed over to them. Everything they own that. Yeah. Not your family, them. And if you put money in your bank to keep you, sell the house. That goes. They're making.
Well, I'll tell you something, Sandy. The reason why that coppers now, hang on, Sandy, let me get in. The reason why coppers now are turning around and saying to people on the streets like that, have you got your details on you, blah, 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 you know, and you say, I don't consent and so forth, right? It's all done for money. It's all commercial. It's all for fines and fining people. And it's all turning into like civil, you know, like magistrates' courts are turning into civil money pits where you know, it's like your ticket wardens handing out tickets. And it's just got to the stage where it's got so ridiculous nowadays.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, the people who saved up for retirement, right, and put money away. Why?
Yeah.
It's not worth it. Because all you're doing is you're giving that money to the bloody government. Right? It's like when during my working life, they come out with a scheme, a superannuation scheme.
Yeah.
Telling you that if you put in so much of your wage, the government put in so much. Sorry, not government. Your employer put in so much. And when you retire, you will have your state pension, plus you'll have this extra money. That'll give you a good look. So everybody, you know what it did? It sounded, and the people, we were sitting in rooms, people telling us.
Yeah.
We were brainwashed. I want this great signed here. We signed. I done it. So many had signed. Oh, at 65 there. State pension? Yeah, got it. That's superannuation scheme. It was washers, nothing like what I was supposed to get.
No.
Because they took my pension money off this.
Yeah.
So you don't get it. Now what they're doing is, I don't know what they call it, but everybody that's working just now, they've got to put in so much of their wage to a pension fund.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, they're getting told, this will help you. They're brainwashing the folk again, but now it's compulsory. So when they people retire, there'll be that much money in there. They'll not get a state pension. So they're paying for a state pension they're never going to get. This is the biggest bloody con again.
I see the same thing with, like, when I was looking for a pension scheme to take out for Kathy, her employer said the same, didn't do one for her. So I thought I'd take out one for a private one. And one of the best ones at the time I had, supposed to have a really, really good name, was Scottish Widows, right? And Scottish Widows, by the time Kathy got her pension, in the end, she gets 68 quid a month. Her pension, 68. We thought, what was the point in us paying all that money in all them years for her to get £68? It just wasn't worth it.
Yeah, because Scottish Widows is part of that Black Horse,
Lloyd's
Bank.
Lloyd's, yeah.
TSB, Lloyd's, what's that?
Lloyd's TSB, or what?
You know what they are. Don't get me started on that one. Yeah, biggest load of conning.
Yeah. We found that as well, and I thought, what was the point in all that money? It's just gone. It's like I get a pension because I'm officially in March. I retire at 66, and I get my state pension. But because of the old rules and regulations, because the pension system's gone to cock anyway. I mean, you know, people should have been able to retire at 60 and get their pension as they should have done. All these years have gone up and up and up. So it's now 66, 67 years of age, and they're talking it probably going up to 70 years. You know, what about the people that did retire in their 60s, that were paying their pension in all their lives, and then suddenly they retire? Do you know what I mean? And you're paying. It just seems fruitless. Why should you be working? Because your hands and everything, your knees and your body aches.
Well, the thing is, I don't know about yourself, Alan, if you were paying into a superannuation scheme.
Yeah.
If anybody has been paying in that, when you retire, they'll send you a form about, do you want to take it out as a pension, like every month or something? Or do you want half of it as a lump sum? Take it half of it as a lump sum and don't put that money in a bank because that's taxable. right?
Yeah.
Keep it under the bed, do what you want, go and go on holiday, spend it, do what you bloody want. Don't
Yeah, I
give
know
them
it's a bit of a joke.
but so and so's up, you know. But it takes so much. That's what I do. But I know folk, people that I work beside, and they had this same wage as me, blah blah blah, and they, oh no, we'll take it out every month. It'll be better that way as a wee pension. They're getting bloody hammered themselves, you know, and they've signed into this now, so they're stuck with it.
Yeah.
No, they're stuck with us. Okay, I took half of it. Oh, but I'm glad I did. But it's the way that people, the government, find ways round to rip us off. My God, it's shocking, disgusting. And people just sit there and let things happen. They don't get off their backsides, too lazy. Yeah.
So who wants to come in, Sandy?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go because I've got Madam to get asleep.
Yeah, I'm surprised the girls haven't come on yet because the Welsh Protection, Child Protection girls normally come on for 9 o'clock. There's no sign of Kimberly as yet. Jason hasn't said anything to me whether they're coming on tonight or not. I'm going to be going off shortly myself. So I wanted them to come in before I went off, but I haven't heard anything from Kimberly or Adele or Lucia at the moment. So
yeah, no, Jacey's gone home for a bath. She's coming back, but she won't go Chelsea. I've got to get her sorted.
all right.
So, all right. So speak to you tomorrow. Say good
See you later,
night,
Harper.
everyone.
See you later, darling. See you, beautiful.
Bye, darling.
Say bye. Bye, kiss.
Bless her little cotton socks.
She's bye, kiss.
Oh,
All right, then. See you later.
see you later, Sue. Thanks ever so much.
That's all right.
See you later, Sue.
See you later.
So Nicola Sturgeon, then, she's not as popular as the likes of Piers Morgan seem to think she is when he's talking about her on Britain's Got Good Morning Britain or whatever it's called.
It doesn't matter what politician it is. The press uses people.
Yeah.
Use it. It doesn't matter who you are, pop star, anything, they'll use you. You know, even yourself they'll use, even myself they'll use. You know.
Well, they've done that all our life, Sandy. They've made sure that we were not only were we not looked after in a kind of like before life, a midlife, or an afterlife, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, we've got a local paper up here, the Renfrewshire Gazette. It goes round the whole of Renfrewshire area. And that's the only paper that's ever gave us full support. It's part of the Daily Record group. They've gave us full, but yet the Daily Record don't know, but this wee sister paper will. They'll give us full support, and they have put in a lot of stories. You know, like when we were fighting for the kids' gravestones, they put that in. When we were fighting for truth to get an apology off quarriers and to get them to admit they knew children were getting abused, they put that in. That's like everything we want in this paper.
Yeah.
But yet the Daily Record. Now, there's a thing, we were talking about this Glasgow Santa and his Hills. That's in. That's all in. But there's nothing in about what we've done.
Coming in, darling, so I apologise for that if it was me.
No problem at all, no problem.
I just wondered whether I thought you might have all fallen asleep or something.
No, I understand. That's no problem at all.
I was just going to say here, Alan, Hammer and Proven, we've got 2 fans joined us. I forgot these girls are on now.
I see what I saw something Kimberly put up the other day, and I was looking at it and I thought, I don't think I'd want to cross her.
No,
Oh, right, what have I done now?
I wouldn't cross her, Alan. I definitely wouldn't.
You know, I saw a post she put up and I thought, well, she's got some balls, that girl.
Oh, which one's on? Which one's on? No, that's me every week, that is.
Come on.
Right, well, shall I just change the names over on the screen? Bear with me a second and I'll get that done. Hang on one second.
How are you all doing tonight, lads? You okay?
Hang on a second.
Yeah, we're
Kimberly.
fine, thank you. She's changing
Hang
the
on,
name over
everyone.
so it
Wait.
becomes your show.
Wait a second, Alan. Let me just change the name on the screen. Hang on.